Okay, folks, here's the fourth video on how to evaluate trades that are offered to you and how to propose trades to other people. Hopefully this will help everyone get involved in that kind of thing throughout the season. So right now I'm logged in as Sabres, and first thing you want to do is, should be regularly, go into my team, and what you see up here is a line that says a trade has been proposed to you. If someone is offered a trade. I set these up, had a couple of pre-done trades sent here, so you could get a look at what it looks like. So let's go in. You click details to see the detail of what the trade is, and first thing you notice, you get an idea of the players involved. So in this case, the Cake team is offering Drew Brees for Matt Ryan and a first round pick. You see the draft picks down there. Now, whenever you do a trade, you have to have equal picks going both ways, equal number of picks. So if you do, say, a first rounder, you got to send a later round pick back. But that's how you do draft pick trades. If we're just looking at it from a perspective of the players, let's forget the draft picks for a moment. At the bottom here, you see the four options: accept trade, reject trade, make counter offer, or evaluate trade. Generally, you want to click on evaluate trade to take a look and see what it's about. And what comes up is this screen where if you scroll down, you get an idea of what the total trade, what it does for you. In this case, it makes the team I'm logged into, Sabres, 41.07 points better over the course of the year, and the other team 44.62 points worse. If it's just player for player, Yahoo thinks that's a good trade. Now, for the team I'm logged into. Now, as I said a bunch of times, Yahoo isn't gospel. I've made a lot of trades where mine was in the red and I just don't agree with Yahoo's evaluation, or if you're looking for different things, say you want to trade for an injured player, somebody really needs help right now, so you give them maybe a lesser player for a really good player that will only be available later in the year, and maybe it still shows as a negative, but later in the year, come near playoff time or something, gets you a much better player. Something like that could happen. So these aren't 100% what you go by, but it's a good indication of what Yahoo thinks, and you can go into each individual week for your team. Like here you have Sabres, what it would look like in week 8, and the difference between your lineup now and the lineup if the trade happened. Or you can go to Cake's team, week 10, and click on that, and you can see their lineup now versus if the trade happened, and the difference between the two. So that's what you're looking for as far as players. Now, the thing you want to remember in this trade and a lot of trades is that there's a draft pick involved. It's not just players. In this case, the guy wants Matt Ryan plus a first round pick to get Drew Brees. So you got to kind of weigh that into it. Even if you're getting the better player, if you're giving up draft picks, that's a cost. So you look at that and decide whether that's worth it to you, whether it makes your team better. If you're having a good year and you're trying to win the whole thing, maybe you're willing to give up some picks. Or the opposite, if you're out of the playoffs, maybe you're willing to trade the better player to get some picks for next year and make a run at it then. So you really kind of weigh it based on that. Now let's say I kind of like the idea of getting Drew Brees, but I'm not quite ready to give up a first round pick, so I don't hit accept right away. I don't reject it. You can make a counteroffer. And, okay, hold on. I got to get back onto my team there. For some reason it makes you do that. But you can go down and make a counteroffer and say, okay, well, there's Drew Brees still highlighted, and I'll give up a draft pick, but instead of you get a 15th rounder back as I marked there, and I'll give you Ryan. He's already marked. But instead of a first rounder, I'm willing to give you a third rounder. And you can reevaluate the trade if you want, or you can just go ahead and send it. And now you see at the top there, it says you have proposed a trade to them. So that's how you kind of look at trades coming in. You should do that pretty regularly, at least once a week. Now, if you want to make a trade, there's a couple ways to do it. Say you want a quarterback, and you can just go to different teams, see what they have, and go, okay, well, I want to trade for Peyton Manning, or I'm going to try for Robert Griffin, and you want to propose a trade. This little icon next to that sheet that I've told you is how you make a trade. Now, if it's red, that means there's new information, could be injury information on a player. Let's pretend this is the guy you're interested in. You want to check him out, make sure he's not going on the injured reserve or anything. And so you click on propose a trade, and there it has Robert Griffin checked. And you're willing to give up, say, your running back, a backup running back. And you're not doing any draft picks on this one. So you evaluate your own trade and see how it comes out for everybody. Now, this one isn't a huge difference in each one, but doesn't look like something that they would necessarily go along with. But again, you never know. It depends on what you think their needs are, and it doesn't necessarily mean that in the red that it's a bad trade. But the best ones, if you can get both in the green, where you have maybe someone needs running backs and you offer them a running back, and you need a wide receiver and you get a wide receiver, and it helps both teams. Those are really the best trades and the easiest to get done. But it really depends on what they're looking for. Like I said, they may be out of the playoffs, so they may want draft picks and be willing to give up good players for it, or vice versa. You may be offering something for you to get a draft pick if you're out, or if they're a really good team, you're trying to get that, or you're trying to get draft picks from that. So you send the trade proposal that way. And again, see, you've made a proposed trade. Another way to do it is, say you don't want to go team by team and look at what everyone has. Just look at players. And if we covered waivers earlier. You say you need a quarterback, and there's just none on waivers that you think is worth anything right now. You can change a position to quarterback and change this to all taken players. Those are guys that are on teams, and say projected season points. So first you want to hit filter, then fan points, because that's what we're really interested in. How many points do you think everyone has? And then you look for teams that maybe have two quarterbacks up there, so they might be willing to give up one. Actually, your quarterback situation on this team isn't too bad. You're kind of up there, but let's pretend the top two were both both of the same team, and you checked and you looked at then you'd go to their team and see what they need. Do they need running backs? Do they need wide receivers? Something that that you're willing to give up. In that case, the best thing is try to offer them what they want. Look for what their need is, what you think they would be looking for in return. Don't try to. If they have 5 great wide receivers, there's no point in offering them another wide receiver. If they have just the two good running backs, and you really think, they have a couple of buys coming up or something, might be, and you have extra running backs, that might be a good indication that you got a trade partner. So again, clicked on Drew Brees, that little trade icon, and say we had uh, you know Gronkowski, even though he's out. That's another thing that can happen. Sometimes you get guys who are injured involved in trades with teams who might be more willing to wait for a guy to get healthy. That happens a lot of times. A guy is hurt for 6 weeks, but he's a really good player. One team needs help right now. The other team is willing to wait on it. And again, you evaluate the trade, see what it does for both teams. Now, this one really doesn't do a lot of good for the other team, so there's not much chance of it really working. So you'd probably want to, either change the trade, change draft picks, something to make it a little more realistic. But that's basically how the trade system works there. And send that, and look, you got 3 trades, and then the one that proposed to you. And you look at that, and you think, okay, that one's a terrible trade. It's not any worth countering. You just reject it, and it's gone. And the other person gets a notice that, sorry, we didn't take it. Um, Sometimes you can send a note to the other party at the bottom there when you make a trade or reject a trade, just saying why, or what, make a counteroffer, what your thinking is. Um, so really, I think that's the basic idea of how trades work, and hopefully this helps more people get involved, and helps that get done. So any questions, of course, you can contact me directly, and talk to you later.